Stretch, how you doing, man?
Oh, pretty fucking good, mate.
That was good. If you could sustain that for the 30 minutes, I'm here for that. Yo, 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 welcome to Crate 808, and today we are blessed to be in the presence of two bona fide hip-hop legends. On board with us, that's the one. On board with us, we have the man who's been known to go as DJ Adrian B, aka DJ Skinny Bones. And on the other line, we've got DJ Cucumber Slice, the man with the mashed potatoes, applesauce, and buttery biscuits. Yes, it's Bobbito Garcia and Stretch Armstrong in the house.
Hold on.
That's the best. That's the best intro ever, yo.
Bob's got the AKAs. My AKAs don't need to be uttered ever. Bob's got the AKAs.
I like all of them. I wanted to use all of them, but then I realized it's just too long. 3 minutes is a way too long an intro.
You know, it was a short-lived AKA of yours, Stretch, was Stretch Boogie during the Hot 97 days.
People call me that.
Yeah, Stretch Boogie. I like that one. Stretch Boogie.
Maddie calls me that. Scott Free called me that. Scott Free called me that. Calls me that. Yeah.
I think it still works in 2020. That name, Stretch Boogie.
Yeah, Stretch Boogie, no doubt.
Definitely.
Stretch Boogie, especially this week. You know, with Halloween and stuff.
Boom. There we go.
I was just at the exhibition I was just at was the Studio 54 exhibition, and as we all know, in the 70s, every other record had the word boogie in it.
Yeah. Get down, boogie, woogie, oogie. Yo, that just took me to the basement of Metropolis Cafe at Union Station. When that's talking about distinct memories. And when you used to spend like the first hour, you play like disco, and you were playing Get Down, Boogie, Woogie, Boogie, Oogie, Oogie. It might be the last time I heard you play it. It was like
Taste of Honey?
Yeah. In 1990, you were killing the disco set, killing it. Oh my god.
There you go. I'm saying bring back disco, Stretch. Let's go. I'm ready for a bit more of that. Next album. Maybe the next album we have a bit more disco. What do you reckon? That look says it all. Guys, I want to dive in. New EP, new music. First time you're on the show. But before I do, I ask everyone who comes on the same question. So I'm going to ask you two legends. What's the least hip-hop thing you've done in the last 24 hours, guys? 24 hours.
Least hip-hop?
I mean, every day, the inverse question is like, what have you done
that was hip-hop?
That is hip-hop.
Well, okay. The museum kind of nails that, though, right?
Well, I'm working on EP2, so that's pretty hip-hop. So, Bob, what's the least hip-hop thing you did today?
I don't know, make a salad and what did I put in it? My protein was lentils.
Look at this health kick.
And I ate it on a sweet potato garden wrap that was organic. I don't know. I mean, look, Dead Prez 21 years ago had a song called Be Healthy, which was very impactful to my eating habits. And Stretch is vegan. He's been plant-based for almost 15 plus years now, Stretch?
Yeah, I was gonna say I made a vegan omelet with vegan sour cream, vegan caviar, onions, salt, pepper, and lemon today, and it was fantastic. But yeah, I don't know.
That's great.
I feel like hip hop and health are overlapping in a big way now. So maybe that's
true. Yeah, but for 90s hip hop, it was very popular to be unhealthy, right? Like drink 40s and
eat crappy food.
Chicken.
Yeah, not that me and Stretch were on that, but I got an even better one. I got to be even better one. So while we were eating lunch, my son asked to listen to some music, and whatever. Like I don't try to enforce my interest on him. So I was like, well, what do you want to listen to? He was like, Kid Bop. And so we pulled up Kid Bop, and there was a song called They're Always Watching Me, and And like a nerd, I'm like, oh, listen, this came out in the '80s. An artist named Rockwell, like was the original, but it was like a kids bop, like 6-year-old singing. I always feel like somebody's watching me, which is kind of creepy. I was like, why would they
It's-
remake this song? Like, if you listen to the lyrics, it's like, nah, this is not a kid's song. But whatever, you know.
Oh, I like it, man. That's great cuisine tips there. We've got it all. We've got it all. I love it, guys. I before I go into any more
You're
though,
on fire, bro. I'm in loving this podcast interview so far.
thank you, man. That means a lot. I
Yeah,
mean, first of all, just got to say, happy 30 years, man. First
thank
show,
you.
happy 30 years. How's it feel celebrating that, man?
Well,
It's great.
it's just
Amazing. I mean, we stopped doing stuff together in the late 90s, and then we would check in with each other once in a while, and then we had a reunion, 1 or 2 reunion like DJ gigs, and then we had our 20th 10 years ago at the Poisson Rouge, which was like incredible. And even I think at that point we didn't really know what the future held for us in terms of what we might be doing together.
yeah.
And then everything just kind of came full circle. Bob and I live near each other in Brooklyn. We've done 2 podcasts on NPR. Of course, there's the Stretch and Bob film, the doc, which Bob directed, and now all this music. I mean, it's in the '90s when we did the radio show, like just having fun was such a huge component of it, and I think that's why both of us at different times stopped doing radio because it just wasn't as fun anymore. But that fun is still a huge component to everything that we do together. And in the context of a pandemic and just what's going on in terms of racial justice and police and all that, and this administration, having that, knowing that on a day-to-day basis you have access to opportunities to actually experience joy and fun with someone that you have such history together, that means a lot to you. It's been a blessing.
That's
Yeah,
interesting, man.
I
Sorry,
would
Bobby.
say that. Yeah, no, it's okay. What would to frame your question again?
I was just wondering how it feels right now to be in this chapter of your lives, I suppose, which is
Yeah,
what Stretch was saying, going from
yeah.
that era to this.
So I mean, basically, I think your question specifically was how do you feel after your 30th anniversary? For me, like my immediate reaction was like actually like relief, because there was a lot of pressure leading up to our 30th anniversary. We had to create the debut broadcast of the Stretch and Bobbito radio on Apple Music Hits, which had a lot of attention, not only from their platform but from our global audience. Like, what are they going to do? Like, we're known for the unexpected. So what cards were we going to pull out the hat? And I think we successfully, pulled it off. I mean, the debut episode featured world premieres of 3 remixes, Stretch and Bobbito plus the M19's band, featuring Biggie was one, Big L and Jay-Z was the other, Method Man and Ghostface. And these were all freestyles from the 90s that, with our bands providing original music, and Stretch, dealing with the looping and chopping, we were able to create new beds. So it was like 30th anniversary, new radio show, new music. We put the film Stretch and Bobbito Radio Change Lives online, streaming free for the whole entire 24 hours of October 25th, which is the actual date of our first broadcast back in 1990. And so by Monday morning, I just took a deep breath of like, okay, like we got past that, because we had press, and then, I'm a parent, and Stretch is dealing with like apartment stuff, and it's just like, whoa, and then the admin, and so this week has actually been like a lot less stressful, because like, oh word. But then meanwhile, like Stretch is back at it, getting EP2 ready with Nas, Big Pun, Fat Joe, and Mobb Deep. All freestyles from the 90s. So and I, while he's working on that, I produced the remake of a anthem for Puerto Rico, my homeland, called Que Bonita Bandera with our band, the M19s. And I directed the video for that as well. That'll be coming out in December to celebrate the 125th anniversary of the Puerto Rican flag. So, you know, we're both at it, you know, like he's working on the freestyles. I'm working on the video for the yeah, it's like, you know, a new song that's not hip hop, but we have some hip hop cameos in it from Crazy Legs and Tony Touch and etc. So, you know, we often with, I mean, you know, oh shucks, Stretch, kick me in my legs. I'm getting diarrhea of the mouth.
Really, you're going hard, bro.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I'll stop there.
That was like a 5-minute answer.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm here for it.
No, but Stretch, you know, we get these answers, they get these questions that like are perfect opportunities for us to shamelessly plug all that we got going on, and you'll talk about like the 90s, and I'm like, no, dude, like just talk about what we're doing now.
Yeah, I know.
I talked about the 90s and now. It's the 30th anniversary of a show that existed in the 90s.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. See, that's why me and Stretch love each other so much, because
we've had to talk about the 90s to death, and it's not interesting for us.
Yeah. Well, I got something for you, Stretch. Crate 808 is specifically about the 90s.
So. We're here, right?
I was going to say, this is like the spiritual home for you guys, but just the haggard, like, yeah, 90s was a long time ago. And I get that. Don't worry. I get that. We've had guests on and they're like, I don't really want to talk about my 90s stuff as much. So, man, I'm here for, because you were saying there, you've done so much, guys. You've done so much since the 90s. It ain't just that. But obviously that's the birth, right? It's the genesis. So, yeah. Illmatic reference for you there. Don't know if you'll enjoyed that one.
We caught that.
Good. But first of all, what you were saying there about like how much you guys have done since that. So I've been a fan of the pod on NPR. I was enjoying that podcast. And one thing that struck me out of that was, okay, I didn't grow up listening to your radio show, but I definitely grew up hearing the freestyles, hearing the tapes. And then when the doc landed, it kind of galvanized it all. And there was like people were just just sending me bear clips on YouTube of your show kind of stuff. What I realized, what I really enjoyed about the other stuff you've done after, which is the podcast and stuff like that, was your interviewing techniques. Like, did you guys actually really work on that kind of stuff before you even jumped in with guests, or were you just like, you know what, let's just put the mic on and talk?
So the what technique?
Interviews, for your interviews that you had. Like,
we didn't really do interviews.
You had
he's talking about NPR.
Oh, NPR.
That's funny because, I mean, I know Bob had a lot of post-90s media experience on camera, interviewing people. I did not. And for the first season, it was I received a lot of encouragement from Bob and from our producers to make my voice be heard more. And it was really, for me, it was like learning on the job and learning quick and learning on a platform that is recognized globally as a source of, you know, the highest quality journalism. So it was a lot of pressure for me, but I accepted it, and you know, I think I learned a lot actually from Bob as well. You know, we've taught each other a lot just through you know, symbiosis, just by being around each other. By the second season, I really feel like I was in a different place from the first season. Like I was actually, you know, the learning process in the first season was somewhat, it felt like a lot of pressure. It didn't always feel like fun. I mean, even if I'm sitting across from Dave Chappelle, which normally is supposed to be just pure fun, it was partly fun, but it was also partly anxiety inducing, because I knew that, you know, it wasn't just about sitting there and listening to Dave be incredibly hilarious or insightful. Like, I had to push the conversation, or partly. But yeah, after the second season, I had an amazing time. And, you know, it's too bad that the second season didn't turn into a third season, But I think what I learned, I'm going to carry with me for the rest of my life. And I think there will be other iterations of Bob and I sitting with interesting people and talking to them. We aren't sure where that's going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my half of the equation. It was learning, had to learn. Luckily, I'm relatively smart and I'm informed and well read, so that helps.
Yeah, I would say Stretch and I, we after NPR did not re-sign us for a third season, he and I actually went ahead and did a new podcast. We recorded 6 episodes, and there it was like, huge difference to season 1, because at that point we were in our groove. We didn't have to do any prep because it wasn't NPR. We didn't have the high expectations or of the production team looking over our shoulder, over every single word that was spoken or in our ear, for that matter. Like literally, like we would do the NPR interviews and we could hear the producer in our ear talking to us at times. But our last podcast, we interviewed some phenomenal people, and it has yet to go live. But we have them in the bank, and when we find the right home for that podcast and the right partner, we'll bring them out to the public, and we look forward to that, because we had great conversations with Roger Gassman from the Beyond the Streets graffiti exhibition, DJ Clark Kent, who's a tremendous influence and icon to both of us, Monica Lynch, former president of Tommy Boy Records, Maimouna Youssef, who appeared on our album with the M19's band, No Request, and she was featured on 2 songs. She's Grammy nominated singer and MC, and we had other guests that were dope too. So basically, like, the podcast will circle back. Right now the focus is the EP with Stretch and Bobbito and the M19s, and all of our featured MCs from the 90s, as well as our Apple Music Hits radio show, which is not interview based podcast. It's a radio show, so allows us to stretch out and play music and let that be the focus. But we'll do some interviews there too, but just not so in depth like not Cradle 808 level interviews,
behave Bobbito, man. That's just as a fan. That's one thing I genuinely wanted to ask, because I did think the interviews were really well done. As someone who has no interview experience, I'm more of a producer, being on the mic, I understand that, Stretch. I understand that, we've got whoever on, Premier, whoever it is, and you're like, it should be enjoyable, but it actually has this kind of anxiety to it attached to it. So I appreciate that it wasn't just me who's going through this stuff. But aside from that, it was also just like you were saying there, the fun aspect of the show. People talk about, the Source labeled it like the greatest like hip hop radio show of all time. I think one of the greatest aspects to it as a fan is the fun element of it. But when you were saying that about like you didn't do many interviews and you kind of had all these people in, was there ever anyone who ever came in where you were a little bit maybe nervous that someone was coming into the old show, to the Tech 9 show?
Not really. The vibe in the studio was always so cool, and it was our home, right? Like we didn't tailor anything to like who was coming in, even when like, I remember when Dr. Dre came, Steve Rifkin brought Dr. Dre, like he was like, kind of like wide-eyed and like kind of like quiet, like he didn't know what was going on, because you walk in and there's such a palpable vibe, right? We're not like, it's not the corporate radio where like we're waiting and you come in and it's like everyone's like talking to you, and like it's like he's coming in and we're like, another artist, and the conversations are still going, the inside jokes are happening, et cetera, et cetera. Quincy Jones, same thing. We just bugged out with him, crazy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like people who are, icons that into the present day, just because I think if you're going to be nervous about anybody, it's going to be someone like that. But that really wasn't the case for our show. Our show was it just the vibe was so strong, and we were so confident with what we had going on there that it didn't really matter who walked in. I mean, I think if President Obama walked in, we'd have been like, "Yo, what's up?" Yeah, it's just super chill.
That's beautiful.
I think I want to share though that my experience might have been a little bit different because, and you know, it's aligned with anyone who had to open up the door at our station. That was at times nerve-wracking. So it wasn't like interview or artists. It was like opening up the door and there's like 15 dudes
What are you gonna
that are
find?
like straight from the hood that are like, yo, play my demo right now. You know, the best case scenario of that was when Wu-Tang dropped off the 12-inch for Protect Your Neck. Okay, great. Like we were able to be the first station to play their music, and you know what became of the Wu. But you know, there were certainly other nights that, and even when they came up, you know, they were not necessarily friendly to me. You know, like they were like very, very like, I mean, you know, that's who they were at the time.
Listen, the whole show rested on our shoulders. So everything that goes into making a radio show was Bob and me, from everything you hear, you know, on mic, all the music and everything that happens around it. So, you know, between Friday and Thursday afternoon, we're, you know, booking guests, we're getting music ready. Bob's, you know, getting his cassettes that he wants to, you know, play at 1 a.m. if I'm going to be half an hour late. And Bob had to answer the door, which was an activity, a duty that I wasn't upset. It didn't fall on my shoulders. It was the times when I was DJing alone and Bob would be out of town. I don't think I just didn't answer the door. I just
No.
Sorry, no guests.
Yeah.
I can't get into like a lengthy conversation with a disgruntled artist at the door while the record's about to run out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but Stretch,
that was what it was like.
I think we were both nervous, and we'll leave the artist name I mentioned. When, do you remember when artist X grabbed your flight case with like 60 records and flung it like 50 feet across the Columbia?
Yeah, but I don't think that's what he's really asking about, like us being nervous like on air with
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But generally nervous.
And then the drug dealer that funded his record telling Sear that he was going to kill us the next day. Yeah. Yeah.
They're ensuring that his record will continue to get played.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
There's elements of the nights that I do not miss whatsoever. You know?
Would you? Yeah, I was going to actually ask that. Generally, is there stuff that you're just glad that isn't there anymore? Is that kind of it? Is just that kind of politics around it?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't so much of that. It's just, you know, those.
No, yeah. Those
experiences are indelibly etched into your mind, because that's how your brain and fear work. But you know, there certainly were some unpleasant instances. But I think for the most part, I'd say looking back, it could have been a lot worse. But we were
that's true. Yep.
Widely respected by everyone in the community, even like the super hard rocks, drug dealers, the types of people that do resort to violence to get what they want didn't really play that card with us. Like,
yeah, that's true.
We were never threatened, like, to play my record or else. That never happened.
Yeah.
And we've even had to tell people that like we weren't feeling their music and we didn't play it. And you know, that's never a fun conversation to have. But
yeah,
I think the honesty that we carried with ourselves was something that probably disarmed people, because most of the time people get hot air blown up their ass, like, oh yeah, no, I'm feeling it. Yeah, you got it. We were never like that. We're like, yeah, you know, this is what I like about it. This is what I don't think I'm going to play. And be like, oh, okay. Thank you for being honest. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn, that's sick. Moving on to the new EP, you guys, man, working together. It's a beautiful thing to see. Just the working relationship is still like there. You've had ups, you've had downs. Where is your rapport right now? And then for these EPs, a series of 3 EPs, I gather, what was the driving force? Why now? What was it about it?
Well, oh, I've got the green.
You got the, you're highlighted.
Why now? Well, it is the 30th anniversary, so that's a momentous occasion. But it also has a lot to do with the fact that technologically we are now able to extract acapellas from stereo recordings, and it was realizing that we could do that, get these acapellas, that gave me the idea to, oh wait, we have a band, we can make remixes and sort of revitalize these classic recordings and share them with a new audience. And it also coincided with us having a deal through
One Core.
Complicated deal. But
yeah, no. So I mean, we have 89 Take 9 Records now, which is in partnership with Uprising, who put out our first album with the M19's band, No Requests. And Uprising is Eddie Palmieri's label. He's a Latin music, legend. And Zoilo Torres from the label really helps us with, Eddie Palmieri's son, Eddie Palmieri II as well. They really help us with, making sure we have the most elite musicians in our band possible. Like even if a dude is sick, or if homegirl can't play the flute, like we gotta step in that like is like just on top. So that worked out. And then we have a license deal with One Core, who has distribution through Warner Music Group. So it's like the best of all the worlds, because we can put out music independently, we own the masters, but we have this incredible group that works really well to get the clearances with Christopher Wallace's family and Big L's estate and everybody else. So that's the beauty of the 30th anniversary freestyle EP1, EP2, EP3, and eventually the album, is that people who are deceased, unfortunately, their next of kin will receive royalties from the sales of these records finally.
Brilliant.
Prior, like people freestyle on the air, it wasn't monetized. It was like it was for the culture, right? But now we creating a platform with these releases that Biggie's mom could see some paper, off of his greatness. I mean, not that she's not seeing paper, but off of the freestyle, which is like live performance,
Yeah.
I mean, also because everything is licensed and legit, potentially these can even get licensed to be in films or whatever.
Word. So I didn't even think about that.
A lot of opportunities there. But all these things just kind of came together and just worked out. I mean, it's, the acapellas are extracted from cassette recordings. So sort of built in is a certain degradation of fidelity, right? But it's part of the charm. It's, it comes from the radio, and it sounds like it.
It sounds like a time capsule, man. Like hearing that Biggie, I mean, the first time I really heard the Biggie thing was in the doc. So when you guys were playing the Biggie verse in the doc, I was pretty much like everyone else who's watching that, geeking out, rewinding it, like, oh my God. Great editing, great direction on that, by the way, Bobbito, man. Absolutely smashed it. That whole moment. And then when you hear that, it's on streaming now, because everything has to be there just for ease. You have your playlist, you have your daily listenings, bang, the Biggie freestyles there, the Big L, the Jay-Z, that kind of stuff. I think that really, really hits home for someone like me who, I don't know, it feels like it's kind of captured in that degradation, if you know what I mean. It wouldn't feel the same if it was clean cut and all that. So I think it all adds to the pot, man. So with these other three that you've got coming out, we have
more than three more coming out. We're gonna have 20, but the next EP is 3 more.
Oh snap! You've got 20 in this collection.
So it's freestyle EP1, freestyle EP2, freestyle EP3. So that'll be 9 freestyles. But we have 20 altogether. So in 2021, we'll put out the full album with all the 20 freestyles, and there'll be new mixes and unreleased remixes of some of the ones that are being released on the EPs.
That's sick.
Like Stretch did an extra remix of the Biggie freestyle that no one's heard yet, which I love. Stretch. I mean, I know we went with the one that we did, but
I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but we really want to get guys like Primo and Buckwild and to get a crack at some of these, and hopefully that's going to happen soon. It's been talked about, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, you just told a '90s guy that we're gonna have Primo. Like he's probably Cam is like bugging right now. He's,
I'm just under here just texting everyone.
Oh my God, Stretch and Bob and Primo, Buckwild. Look at Cam. He's turning red in the face, Stretch.
It's true. It's true, man. It's true.
He's probably got a Woody right now.
Mate, 6 to midnight. It went 6 to midnight. As soon as I heard Premiere, I was like, what? Hold on, what? Yeah, I'll be messaging literally everyone after this about this. So, yeah. That's all. We live in this warped world, and lockdown doesn't help. It just makes it worse. You know, I was sitting here with my really colourful hoodie on with Wu-Tang with no one looking, just me on my own in my little office. But that's mad. That's amazing. You've got that coming out. I was talking about your relationship though, like working relationship. Are you?
We didn't even answer the question.
Timed it perfectly there, Stretch. I have to say.
Oh, sorry.
What working relationship? But really, where it's at the moment, it seems very healthy. And also, what you guys want to do now? Like, what is the next step after these things that drop?
Well, we do have an exhibition in development for our 30th anniversary. So we look at the 30th anniversary starting on October 25th, 1990, and lasting until October 25th, 2020, all the way until 2021. So hopefully next year, depending on the pandemic, and if it's risk-free for people to engage with us indoors in a space or outdoors for that matter, maybe next summer. We want to do an exhibition, which would be virtual reality, encompass a lot of me and Stretch's career and cultural impact, not just with the radio show, but, with the other efforts that we've had and endeavors. We have another M19's album, No Request got swept. Unfortunately, we had our first show at the Kennedy Center, in January. We had a second show at the Gramercy Theater in New York. We had a tour set up, and then the pandemic hit, and poof, a lot of merchandise, a lot of press that we could have garnered, a lot of excitement, getting the snowball going. It just went poof. And it's a phenomenal album, right? So, the thing that I was excited about with Apple Music hits radio show is that, like, right underneath the radio show says, if you like, the radio show, check out, Freestyle EP1 and, Stretch and Bobbito plus the M19's first album, No Request. It's like, hopefully it's going to, have a ripple effect to our other music. But yeah, eventually we want to put out a second album. And Stretch and I have entrepreneurial ideas, and we want to do merchandise, and we want to get back on the road when it's available to DJ again. And, I want to be DJing with Stretch for a long time. Like, I don't see this as, like a 6-month term and then we move on. It's like, the scary thing, Stretch, is that the real shit is that we have yet to even scratch the surface. Like, that's real talk. You think about all that we've done in 30 years, like, we really are just scratching the surface. Like, there's so many people that don't even know who we are. There's so many people that love hip hop that haven't watched our film. There's people who loved our show in the 90s who haven't seen our film. There's people who fucking, have tapes and tapes and tapes, don't even know we have an album out or we have a freestyle EP out. Like, that's why you got to stick with it, do all the press requests that you possibly can, and stay on top of the social media and all this other stuff. We went to India for the first time last year. Or was that 2 years ago, Stretch? I don't know. When was it? When was that? Is that 2018?
I don't know.
Whatever it was. But, our film, when it got picked up by Netflix, reached 190 countries worldwide. All of a sudden, we're getting bookings in Mumbai. Like, that never happened. Wow. We've been in entertainment for, 25 plus years. And now we're going to, uncharted places. So, Stretch has never been to Brazil. I've been there like twice. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Mm.
Like, we're scratching the surface. If we can reach the amount of people that I think would love what we've done and what we will do, it's just, it just takes a lot of effort.
Exciting times though, man. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
For all that work you guys are putting in, and anytime you're like feeling just shattered, just remember there are geeks over here that are just like ready for it, man. So whenever you're dropping something, remember we're here, man, and we'll be sharing that stuff whenever it drops. So yeah, man, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys coming on, talking to the listeners. Guys, go check all these things out that they've talked about. We'll link it all up in the description and stuff.
Nice.
Before you do leave us, though, guys, and it's been an honor having you on, I always ask everyone the same thing before they leave. What's the last great piece of music you heard? Could be old, could be new, just the last great piece you heard. You can check your Spotify's or your apps if you need to.
Spotify, fuck that. I'm a vinyl dude. I'll tell you right now.
Boom, there we go. The real quiz.
So last night I was getting together my set for Apple Music Hits.
Oh, nice.
And on the top of so this is the last thing I listened to was Baby I'm Scared of You. Mm-hmm. This is the test pressing of me and Stretch's first album, titled No Request. Wow. And it features guest vocals by Aaron Maya, Nakeba, and Edson Sean. It's our rendition of Womack and Womack Classic. But yeah, I got a lot of music here. I just got this West Loop Chicago Mystic Brew. You know the song Mystic Brew?
Mystic Brew. It's the jazz song. Am I thinking of?
It's a jazz song that Tribe Called Quest sampled.
Yeah.
But Norma Jean by Napoleon Debs. I mean, this is crazy. Stretch, did you pick this up off of Juno?
Yeah, I have that.
That's sick.
Apache. It's like an Afrobeat version of Apache.
Oh.
It's bananas. So yes. Yeah, I mean, whatever. The last thing I just listened to was literally like last night.
Love that. Bobbito, bringing it. What you got, Stretch?
What do I have? Man, listen.
Show him your 7-inch, Stretch.
I don't know, man. That's a hard question.
I hate that question. It's like, what? Don't you hate that? What hip hop are you listening to now? I was like, oh my god, got to think of a title and an artist now.
Okay, all right. I'll scratch that one off the menu.
Yeah, I like your first question. The least hip hop thing you've done today. That's great.
So as you know, I was just at the Brooklyn Museum Studio 54 exhibition. Mm. And in one room they were playing the Bee Gees, You Should Be Dancing, which actually, it was actually the extended 12-inch mix, which is actually incredible. But it made me think of this other Bee Gees song, which I actually played the other day.
And Stretch, you could have used this for your answer for the least hip hop thing you've done today.
Least hip hop.
Bee Gees.
DJs don't play the Bee Gees. Stop playing. Don't play yourself, B.
I'm not.
Bee Gees have been sampled. I mean, like, you're bugging. Bee Gees have break beats.
Yo, let's part ways again. Let's part ways, man.
Can I school you right now?
Stretch and Bobbito Radio. Stretch and Bobbito Radio is over, yo. on Cradle 808. Yo, Stretch, go F yourself, yo.
The Bee Gees split them up. I want to hear it on the Apple Music show now.
I want Stretch to wear a Bee Gees wig on Saturday, October 31st.
Hold on, Stretch what you playing? Go play.
How the Bee Gees the least hip hop thing, like, to stop it. But the song that I love, which I think is phenomenal, to answer your question, is Nights on Broadway.
Nights on Broadway. Right, noting it down. I'll be listening to these. I genuinely will. Good work, lads. Good work. Thank you, Stretch. Thank you, Bobbito. Absolute legends. And yeah, man, everyone go out, check the EPs.
Say his name again.
Stretch and Bobbito.
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 Yeah, I think out of all the countries in the world, the UK pronounces my name the worst, yo.
Yeah.
Is B-I. Bobbito.
Bobbito. And I'm not even posh.
It's not
I'm like
Bobbito, it's Bobbito.
Bobbito. That's it.
Bobbito.
Okay.
Bobbito.
Cool Bob Love. There we go. How's that? Let's just do that. Let's bring Cucumber Slice back.
Call me Bobby. What did Marisol call me the other day? Stretch on PIX.
Oh, I forget it.
Call me Bobbito.
Bobbito. That wasn't that bad.
And you're keeping all of this, bro. You're keeping.
I know. I've got to. I have to.
All right.
Thank you, guys. And yeah, good luck with the rest of it, man. Good luck with the launch of the rest of it.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, safe.
Safe. Boom. Now we got a top end and a back end of Stretch doing English stuff. Love it. I never thought I'd get that. Cheers. That's it. Guys, thank you, man.
Don't be a punter.
Don't be a punter. That's good. Oh, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that sentence, but I want to believe it's a thing that people say now. But thank you, guys. I really appreciate it, man. Good luck with it all. Anything else you want to promo or anything, just give us a shout, and man, Instagram, whatever, just hit us up and we'll share it out and stuff. So cool, man.
All right.
Thank you. Promo anytime. I could just sit here and just get rinsed now for you guys.
All right, man. Thank you.
No worries, man. Take it easy, man.
All right, later.
Well, there you go. Stretch and Bobbito doing their thing, just absolutely smashing it, rinsing the English accent whilst doing so. Fair play to them. But also just bringing that love for the 90s and, their newest stuff, man. Let's go check it out. Go check out the new EPs. Go check out that old album. It's all just full of, well, you know what Stretch and Bobbito do, man. They bring the flavour. And that new Apple show is also sick as well. Very good for the old workouts, I have to say. So, yeah, man, other than that, go check out crate808.com, subscribe, subscribe to the newsletter on our website. We'll be updating that every week to go out, and just tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Go cop some merch. Just go help us out generally. Just go out there, help us out. We really appreciate it. And we're going to bring you some more fire from people like Stretch and Bobbito. Anyway, man, peace out. Boom. And what did Bobbito say again? Don't be a punter. Don't be a punter. Boom.